It's all happening here in the Kumai River. There's so many little fishing boats. Just had a pilot boat come past us. Massive boat behind us as well. It's only 4 metre deep here. And that big cargo ship's coming in here. The land is so flat and there's all these boats roosting, like spraying water up into the air. They're completely different boats to
everywhere else.
Again.
And the water colour's really gross.
Yeah, the water's not the greatest colour either. Runoff maybe from like palm oil plantations, I don't know. Or just mud. So I just pressed the autopilot, press the pilot button to turn it on, and it's not working. So we're about to pull in here to Kumai, but we're also doing a 3-day passage to Belatung. So hopefully I can get it fixed before we go up to Belatung, because that would be very, very bad hand steering that whole way. It'd be shitty, especially for Craig and Colleen, Lauren's parents.
Getting older and fading light, it's beautiful. This wind is blowing colder into sun. I feel its pull.
Something I really didn't expect about Kumai was how many ships there'd be. Like, I knew that it was quite an industrial hub, I suppose. It's exporting crude palm oil, which is pretty crazy when you've got Tanjung National Park on one side of the river protecting the orangutans, and then on the other side you've got the export hub for what's essentially destroying their natural habitat. It's crazy. But it's super busy. There's tugboats and barges and container ships and everything, all sorts. So he's radioing to someone in Kumai, like, he's coming in here, I reckon slow down, let him pass in front of you. God, this is hectic.
This is the vessel Blue Moon 2. I'm holding my position.
From what I gathered from that radio communication, this boat's coming alongside one of the jetties. There's Mahakan, which is that one. So a local in a little speedboat just came up and pointed us in the right direction of the best place to anchor, which is pretty much just along the opposite side of the river where all of the big cargo ships are anchoring. So it's about 8 meters mud bottom, which will be pretty good, and it looks like we're going to be nice and close to the jungle wall. Something also really interesting about this town, just on first glance, is the sheer volume of bird's nest soup buildings. If you have been following the channel for a while now, you would have remembered when we were back in, maybe in southern Lombok, we showed you a bird's nest soup factory or building or nesting farm thing. And they're everywhere here, like the whole town, it kind of looks like mini high-rises, but it's not office buildings or any type of high-rise, it's just solely bird's nest soup cement buildings. Take a look, and the swiftlets are flying around everywhere as well. Crazy, hey?
Oh, they're everywhere. We could hear them from like down the river.
Upon arrival, Kumai River or Kumai Town is really interesting to look at from the water. Like, I would have to say it's probably one of the most interesting anchorages we've come to in terms of buildings
And the colour of the water.
Yeah, and it's obviously, you know, brown and muddy.
Gross.
It's gross, but it's different. It's interesting. It's very like jungly.
Yeah, that's what it is. I wonder why it's this colour.
Yeah.
Right, maybe?
Is it because
The soil?
Is it the soil, or is it something to do with the farming? Possibly, which would be really sad, or is it just because it's mud all the way up? But you won't be able to hear, but I can hear now the weird mechanical chirping noise of the bird's nest soup buildings. It's so odd. And I bet at sunset they're freaking everywhere around here. Sunset and sunrise, I bet they're flying around, shitting on people's boats. These are the culprits of when we returned to the boat from Japan and it was just covered in bird poo. That was them.
Oh, I hope they don't shit on the boat again.
Yeah, hopefully it's not bad like that again. This is the local that told us where to anchor. He's in his little boat up here. I'm pretty sure he would be one of the local guides. So he'll be wanting to book us onto an orangutan tour, organise a boat watcher, maybe help us provision for fuel or LPG or something. But we've already organised someone. I found someone kind of headhunted me on one of the forums, one of the Facebook sailing forums for Southeast Asia, and we're going to use him. But we'll probably use this guy to maybe help us arrange a driver into Sumpit, which is about 4.5 hours away. We need to travel all that way to get to immigration, so we need to renew our visa within the week. Here he is. He is good. Yeah? This is where we will drop the pick. Loz at the helm. Dill on the anchor.
Alright, you're on this?
Yeah.
I think it's more of a current flow thing.
Alright.
So, you want to back that, or at least stop us. Okay, see you soon.
Okay, see you soon. I'll tell you when.
So sturdy up your heart, for the road is long ahead. I'll be with you even though we're apart.
Okay, we're off the boat. We were meant to have a nap this afternoon, but we didn't. And the reason for that is our autopilot broke. Just like so devastated. So many things have broken. So Dylan spent the afternoon trying to fix it, but it's definitely broken. The motor's fried. So we've ordered a new one and hopefully it arrives to my parents in time. Hello! Imagine if it doesn't.
Otherwise we'll have to steer for like...
We're gonna have to hand steer for the rest of the
30 days.
season. Hello!
What's up, guys? What's up, guys?
Yeah, jalan. Yeah. Yeah, but we are just gonna have a little explore, jalan, which means walking around or traveling around. We're just gonna go find some warung food, maybe have a beer if we can find one, and then go back to the boat, shower.
I'm wrecked.
Yeah, maybe watch like a show on Netflix or some sort of series and fall asleep. So that's us for today. And we're also in WhatsApp conversations at the moment with a couple of different people trying to sort ourselves a lift into Sumpit tomorrow to do our visa. So I think I've already said, but that's 4.5 hours away. And you can probably hear all that chirping. That's the bird's nest soup buildings. Look how big they are.
There's so many.
Yeah. What are you getting, Dill? I am Lalapan.
Oh, I'm getting
Lalapan.
shrimp. Yeah, Lalapan. No idea what it is.
Is this my iced tea maybe?
Yeah. And yeah, there's not many places to eat around here.
You want to see? You want to see? Berapa usia kamu? Is that right? Yeah?
Iya, paling itu sekitar 6 tahun.
Enam.
6 tahun.
Si. Terima kasih.
Kasih chicken.
Ayam. Nama? My nama? Lauren and Dylan. Dylan.
Aurel.
Morel.
You come from? Australia.
Yeah. Thank you. Terima kasih. Sampai jumpa lagi.
Sitting on the Kumai River, the town of Kumai is a port city located in central Kalimantan on the island of Borneo. Borneo is the third largest island in the world and is politically divided among three countries, Malaysia and Brunei in the north and Indonesia to the south, occupying around 73% of the land.
Kumai's population sits at around 40,000, and as with much of Indonesia, most residents are of Muslim faith. Many locals are fishermen, farmers and gold miners, and some work for companies that harvest palm oil or coconut products. Upon arrival into Kumai, we were quick to notice the bird's nest buildings dominating the skyline. The buildings are tall, drab, concrete monstrosities with no windows, towering over the tiny local buildings. A fitting visual representation of humankind's greed and willingness to exploit animals. As with most things, money rules and locals don't have much of a say in the ever-increasing volume of these ominous-looking structures. Most buildings are owned and operated by the Chinese, who export the nests via plane.
And let's not forget the key export here, crude palm oil. It's a bizarre irony, travelling up the Kumai River, dodging barges and cargo ships, transporting palm oil to the far reaches of the world, to the greedy companies scrambling for a cheap and unnecessary filler to cut their products for increased profit.
The river divides two very different worlds. On the east, the lush and vibrant Tanjung Puting National Park, home to rescued, rehabilitated and wild orangutans displaced by deforestation of their natural habitat to make way for new palm oil plantations. On the west, the busy and polluted landscape of one of the many ports that's exporting the very same palm oil.
How did it get this way? Anyway, that's a discussion for a future episode. Kumai also exports logs. Orangutan habitat loss, anyone? Sorry, where was I? Right, Kalimantan produces for export wood, rubber, coconut, soybeans, rice, corn, peanuts, gold, petroleum, coal, diamond, iron ore, the list goes on.
We are off to Sampit today, so we're leaving the boat in Kumai, and Majid here is taking us back to shore. Back to shore in his dinghy. So I've got little Luna tied up safely. Bye, Blue Moon. So we'll be back in 2 days. So it's an overnight trip to do our visa extension. We've got 2 loads of washing, 2 lots of rubbish. Just a lot of stuff. We've also packed some shopping bags in case we do some provisioning in Sampit. So if you have a look at these like huge ships, they're just like huge pinnaces, which are the traditional wooden boats, and they're monsters. They're so big. I can't believe they make them that big.
So we are in the car heading for Sampit.
This is a nice car. I thought they were going to put us in that. And I was like, we've been in so many vans like that, and I was like, no, not 4.5 hours in that thing.
Tidak English sedikit. Tidak. Sedikit bahasa. Tidak.
I just am so weak. I have the weakest hands and fingers, and it's pathetic. I can't even open when Dylan does the water bottle up too tight. I can't even open it. Dylan just pointed out a really interesting thing about if you look at the aerial map or the satellite view of Borneo, the island of Borneo. It's hard to find somewhere that hasn't got palm oil. Well, like you look at it and it's green and lush and you're like, wow, that's incredible, it's so green and beautiful. And then you zoom in anywhere on the map and it's just rows and rows and rows, the whole country, it's rows and rows and rows of palm oil farms. It's really sad. And now I'm just like reading, I'm Googling just about the history of palm oil in Indonesia. It's actually really interesting. Everyone's overtaking everyone. It's so freaking stressful. Like we're overtaking huge trucks on blind corners and up hill crests. I gotta say, it's probably one of the most stressful drives in all of Indonesia thus far. If you made it all the way to the end, thanks for joining us for another episode.
Join us next week as we breeze through our visa extension in Sunpit and stumble across a totally random solar panel store. Score! These videos are made possible by our beloved patrons.
With both one-time or ongoing pledge tier options, Patreon provides us with a unique platform to share additional content, benefits, gifts, giveaways, recipes, and early release episodes with our Patreon community. A great deal of care, love, time, dedication, consistency, discipline, and passion goes into filming and editing these videos. It's extremely rewarding, but not without its challenges.
Patreon means you can directly support creators like us and spread the love. Sailing Blue Moon patrons pledging $5 or more will get a Seize the Day t-shirt made from recycled plastic bottles collected from our oceans. All shirts are available for purchase. Hit us up on Instagram or Facebook for details.
Every little bit helps to keep us afloat, filming and creating. Perhaps a Patreon pledge isn't your jam, but you'd still like to show your support. Buy us a beer, shout us a shandy, or even a round of rum nuts. You can do so via our Sailing Blue Moon PayPal account with a shout out in the credits.
Thanks Bunyip Dan for throwing some beer funds in the PayPal account. Full of handy info and a legend. If you enjoy our content, you can help us out by liking this video and subscribing if you haven't already. Don't forget to click the bell to the right to be notified of new episodes. We'd also love to hear from you, the viewer, so hit us up in the comments below.
And lastly, you can follow us in real time on Instagram and Facebook. As always, thanks for watching Blue Moonies.